Okay, we are live. Good to see everybody. We have another live unboxing here on the channel. It's April 19th, Wednesday, of course, April 19th, 2023, 5:47 p.m. Pacific time here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Good to see everybody. Very busy here on the channel. Wanted to do a live unboxing of the MSI Summit here, the E13 Flip Evo. We looked at last year's model, but there are some really key things I want to look at here. This time around, we have, I believe, the black one that MSI sent over. It's called the Ink Black, but there's also what is called Pure White. That is also available as far as that is concerned. I also have the MSI, not the Summit, but the Prestige 14 and 16 inch coming. Now that 16 inch, by the way, is going to have a mini LED display. I'm looking forward to that one. It's got a discrete GPU RTX 4000 series. We'll get into that. I believe it's going to be either I think it's the 4070 or the 4080. I don't remember, but I'll get you all the specs. And then, of course, we have this one here today. So this one is a enterprise slash freelancer slash consumer even, because again, it looks very, very premium. And if you remember last year, it was also very reminiscent, I would say, of the Spectre line. A lot of the design cues. In fact, it even had the same gold accents as far as the dark version, though the black version is concerned. So we have 18 of you so far. Do me a favor before we begin, hit that thumbs up button. Let's get this spread out over YouTube as we have 20 of you. I think people are starting to file in, and we usually gain more momentum as we go on. So looking pretty good. Now let's set this up. So we have here, and I can show you the specs here. This is the Summit E13 Flip Evo. We'll get to the pricing in a moment, and price as configured, we're going to talk about it in a moment, but it is available at Costco for $1299.99. And this one, of course, has the P-Series processor, a 28-watt CPU from Intel. That's 12 cores, 8 efficient cores, and 4 performance cores. We've seen it before. You can pick it up over at Best Buy. Now, Best Buy is showing $1699.99. I don't know how long that price is going to stay. They probably will drop it at some point. If you go over to Costco, I dropped a link, and it's a non-affiliated link. I do not have any affiliation with Costco. I do with Best Buy. And by the way, I'll have a sponsored portion a very couple of minutes in this video with Best Buy. So they are helping sponsor a portion of this video. There are some great top deals. We'll get into that later. Don't let me forget. And then, of course, you can get it here at Costco. As you see, $12.99.99, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte of storage. Pretty decked out, 120 hertz display. So pretty nice stuff here when it comes to this MSI Summit here. So looking good. Let's say hello to a few people before we get it out of the box. Good to see Raphael here. Good to see William. So far, the bandwidth is holding up, William. Yes, we had some technical difficulties on Saturday. Seems like it's okay so far. Fingers crossed that it will continue to be good. And then we also have Ayman here. Price, I just showed it to you. Salam alaikum, my friend. Muhammad Muslim. Okay, salam alaikum to you, my friend. And then Shai Sheikh, $12.99 over at Costco here in the U.S., but if you want to get it at Best Buy, it's also at Best Buy, but it is showing significantly more at Best Buy, $16.99. Stylus is included, and the premium design here, it's a CNC machined aluminum build, so it's going to be very top rate when it comes to the build. And yeah, so it's looking really, really good. We got Daily RPG here. Good to see you. William, of course, we said hello. Constantine, as usual, good to see you as well. Aloha to Black Cell 22, a regular as well. Good to see Shays as well. All right, so let's see how many we have of you. We have 28 of you. So why don't we get this out of the box? Let's see what we're dealing with here. We'll get to the Prestige probably early next week, maybe even sooner. 14-inch, like I said, and then I have the 16-inch with that mini LED and discrete GPU coming. But this is a thin and light, ultra-portable convertible. Let's get it out of the box. So let me set up the stage here. So we got the top-down shot here. Let me get my knife, if it's here somewhere. All right, here it is. And then we're going to want to turn on the secondary microphone. So let me turn that on. So without further ado, let's get this out of the box. Pretty easy, okay. So pretty nice packaging so far. And here you can see it says MSI Summit Series. It's got the matching pattern in terms of that gold and the ink black that this color is. Okay. Okay, so let's take this out, and again, it has some of the MSI branding right there. You can see that there. And they also give you some documentation, it looks like. Let's rip it open. So we got the quick guide, the quick start guide right there. And you've got a limited warranty right there. And you got a help information right there. So if you run into any trouble, you just call that helpline. Looks good so far. And then let's check out the accessories in the box. Let's get it all out here. So this is the pen. We'll get to the pen in a moment. And that's it. Nice packaging. No sleeve or anything in the box like you get with HP and with Lenovo. But that's okay. So we'll get to this in a moment. We got the pen here. Let's take a look at the charger. So pretty compact charger right here. And I believe this is going to be a 65 watt, I would imagine. I'll double check it in the specs when I do my edited video, recorded video. And it's going to be Type-C. So you'll see the Type-C connection right there if it ever comes into focus. Doesn't want to come into focus. There it comes into focus. Okay. And then, of course, we get the power cord. And you can see the power cord right there. And we get the pen. Let's take a look real quick at the pen. We have to cut this one open. Okay, so the pen is here. This is the MSI pen. You could see it there. Got an eraser top, clickable, and feels good. So far, pretty good. Let's put that to the side. And let's see if they give you, probably they give you some extra pen tips, tip remover tool, and of course a USB-C cable that will charge your pen. So it's a rechargeable pen, no need to worry about getting any batteries or anything like that. So that's always appreciated. Okay, let's put this away. And here you can see that tag does tell you that. Battery level, remote control, MPP 2.0 technology. Okay. So it's using the Microsoft Pen protocol. Oh boy, this thing is pretty gorgeous. I know it's dark. I'm probably going to have to bump up the cameras a little bit here. So give me a second. Okay, so this is pretty gorgeous. You can see it here. This is the ink black. It has these gold accents right there. Let's take a look at it from, well, that camera's out for some reason. So let's go here. So this is the camera that you can look at it. So very nice. Let's have a little bit sharp edges, but looking pretty sleek, pretty nice. So let's do a top down here. Let's open it up with one finger. Let's see if we can. We can. Very nice. Wow. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. Holy smokes, people. This thing is beautiful. Loving it. Let's take a look, listen to the keyboard. Very nice. So it feels like it has pretty good key travel. Very pretty laptop, no doubt about it. Wow. And it is pretty thin. Although, look at this. It is a convertible, so that's supposed to do that. Forgot about that. It is a convertible. Let me go check my other camera real quick. Let me put it on this for a moment, and I'll be right back. My second camera's not working. Hold on. I guess the battery was low, so I just turned it back on. It's plugged in. So let's try it now. There it is. Oh, wow. That is pretty gorgeous, people. Wow, look at that. I got to tell you, the build is freaking fantastic here. Here you can see some MSI branding right there. Now, I don't know about fingerprints, but so far, not too bad. But again, with black, you never know. I don't know if there's a place to store the pen. Let me see. If there's anywhere around here, it would be nice. Maybe on the lid, like some of the other, like I think Samsung does that. I don't see any place to store the pen, so that's a little bit of a negative, but not a deal breaker in my opinion. This thing is freaking gorgeous. All right, so let's take a look at some of the ports. Let me open this up like this. Let's start off on the left side. In fact, what we're gonna do is move over to this camera. Get a nice clean shot. This thing is one of the best looking laptops I've seen so far. Wow. Yeah, it looks very similar to the Spectre, that's for sure, William. Let's get this set up. All right, so we got a USB-A port over on the left side. We get two Thunderbolt 4 ports. They are full function from what I understand. And again, you can charge on them. And then moving over on the right side, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, HDMI 2.1. So if you want to connect to a monitor, 4K 60 hertz, you can. There is your power button, or I'm sorry, micro SD card reader right there, and the kill switch for the webcam. So pretty good, pretty good. Pretty impressed so far with the ports on this. So let's bring it over here. Okay. Now, it does lift up a little bit. Let's take a look at this. So if I bring this over, well, let's try it like this. Okay. You see it sort of lifts up here. So it's almost got an ergo lift hinge in a sense. So you have a lot of versatility when it comes to this device, that's for sure. And then again, you can see from this angle, pretty gorgeous, pretty gorgeous. It even has almost like a gem cut design like we saw with the Spectre. So there, it looks pretty good. No 5G option that I know of. So that is a pretty interesting question asked by Daily RPG. Thank you. Here's your fingerprint scanner showing a little bit of fingerprint or smudge already on the touchpad. But this is the keyboard. And again, this also comes in ink black, which is this. And it also comes in I think it's pure white, or I think that's what they're calling it. We looked at it last year as far as the white is concerned. It was pretty gorgeous. And that looks really fantastic. All right, let's put this to the side. And for those that want to see the pen here, this is the pen. And you can get a better look here. MSI, this is a really nice feeling pen. I didn't see any place to magnetically store it or anything like that. So that would be one little thing I would be concerned about. There's the USB port on there to charge it. All right, we may have to do that. All right, let's connect it to our dock here. Let's connect it to one of the USB ports here. Okay, so let's turn it on. I don't know if MSI set it up already. I don't see too much flex or anything in the chassis here. It's looking pretty good. Pretty solid build. It's CNC machined aluminum. I don't know if it's going to turn on. There we go. It lit up right there. Okay, so let's see what it's going to give us in terms of the display. Now, this is going to be a full HD plus display. It's IPS. It's going to be 120 hertz. So that means you're going to get the really high refresh rate, which I always do appreciate. And it's going to have some pretty nice colors from what I understand. Of course, I need to do all my measurements as far as the color accuracy, as far as coverage of the color gamut. We need to check all that out. So do me a favor. We only have 20 likes. Hit that like button. It helps me out. So it looks like they might have already set it up here. So you can see it here. A little glossy, but again, I do have the studio lights. You can take a look at it here. And pretty gorgeous touchscreen display, right? So as far as the brightness is concerned, let me bump up the brightness function and the brightness up. And it's going to be, it looks pretty bright so far. And let me show you on this camera. And you can see it here. Oops, this way. Okay. And you can see that the brightness is really good. In fact, it's a little blown out even. It's that bright. So looking pretty good. All right. This is what it looks like. We're signed up on here. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, let me put it on me. Let me get it connected to my network while I have it here. Let's connect it to my Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is turned on. Okay. Let me connect it to my network. If it finds it, there it is. And let me connect it. Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. So it's connected to my network and so far looking pretty good. Let me load in a couple of benchmarks. Give me a second. Okay. And let me load that onto the drive here. So let me, well, I should have done that. Okay. So let me go to the E drive. That's my drive, of course. And let's go here. And let's put these into the, oops, did it again. Let's put these into the download folder. If I can get this working. There we go. I'm a spaz tonight. Okay, there we go. So that's loading in. Thank you, Ahmed. I appreciate that. Thumbs up. All right. And Kenny saying, if only it was solid gold and you could melt it and keep the gold. Yeah, we got some gold accents on here. That's for sure. Let me load in Geekbench here. And speaking of the accents, yeah, what he's talking about, again, these gold accents on this. This is the ink black. It also comes in the pure white. We looked at the white last year. When I'm done, I'll drop a link to my video from last year of the predecessor as far as last year's. This is running a 13th gen processor. Let's run the Geekbench, but of course, let's first check the power settings. Let's make sure everything is on performance mode, best performance there. Now, I don't know if hitting function or anything like that will allow me to do it from the MSI side. Again, I still have to investigate all that. But let me see if there's an MSI app here that helps me, MSI Center. Let's see what that's all about. I don't know if this will have a performance mode where we can switch it and so forth. So there you go. So $16.99, Kenny, at Best Buy. It's a premium design. I got to tell you, premium product. But Costco, and I left the link for that as well, looks like it's only $12.99. That's a steal. And I'm not being paid by Costco. And here you can see you have the extreme performance, balance, silent, and super battery mode. And then you could do the smart auto. Let's put it on the extreme performance. So that is looking good. Let's do the first benchmark, the Geekbench 6. Let's run it and see how it will do. And I know sometimes this gives us an issue, so let's have that ready to go as far as the Edge browser. Okay, so looking pretty good so far. We have 33 of you watching. Good to see everybody. I do hear the fan kick in. I don't know if it's dual fans. I didn't open this up. I don't know if we're going to open it up today. I'll try to do it in the video, of course. So we will see. So that's rendering. And again, for those that want to see the pen is right here. I don't know where we can store it, and I don't know if we need to charge it a little bit up. In fact, let's take a look here. Yeah, so it looks like it needs to be charged up. I have to use a USB-C charger. I probably have something around here. Give me a second. Okay. So the pen is being charged up, so that probably shouldn't take too long. So while that's doing that, let's see what we're doing over here. And it looks like something is happening in the background. There you go. There it went black a little bit, so should be back on. Here we go. And let me put myself down there. So I do hear fan noise, not too loud so far. It's on the ultra performance mode. Looking at the specs in Best Buy, comes with Windows Pro and has a 3-year limited warranty. Now, they were telling me about this limited warranty. I know the Summit, this is the Summit. I know the Prestige model, the 14 and the 16, come with 3-year warranty. So if you're telling me this has a 3-year warranty for the Best Buy, even better. That's good. Nice, good. And thank you, Raphael, for putting a link in the chat to my review of the MSI Summit E13 Flip Evo from last year, 2022. I really enjoyed that one. I think we got almost 20,000 views on that, which, you know, for not in the main stuff we normally do as far as the brands, that's actually pretty decent. Okay, so this is running. We'll see what kind of single core, multi-core score we get on the Geekbench 6. I'm not expecting great numbers here, only because we got stuff happening in the background. All the drivers have not been updated. Again, usual disclaimer and so forth. So we'll see. Now, we'll hopefully get decent single and multi-core performance. Again, P-Series processor, Core i7 1360p. That's 28 watts. That's 12 cores. That means it's got 8 efficient cores, 4 performance cores. So you know the deal, folks. Let's see how this will do. Now, for those wondering, I'm also streaming as well on Twitter, as well as, of course, here on YouTube. So we have a simultaneous stream. So for those watching on Twitter, welcome, of course. And those, of course, here on YouTube, the main channel, welcome indeed. Now, let's see what else we have here. Let's see what kind of score this gives us. Pretty decent score, okay? So first run, 2207 single core score and a 9077. So I expect that 9077 to go up a little bit as I update everything and it settles in. So this is a first boot for me. So you know what? Not too bad. Not too bad for a really thin and light laptop. And for those joining us late, let me take a screenshot, by the way, before we do that. Hold on. Let me. Okay, so I took the screenshot. Now, for those that want to see the specs, I can bring it back up again just so we get real clear on what the specs of this model are. Again, 13.4-inch full HD plus display, 120 hertz. That's going to be really key. Intel Iris Xe graphics, in addition to of course, the i7 1360p. This is CNC machined aluminum. Let me go back a little bit. That went a little too quick for my taste. Let me pause it here. So this has a 4-cell 70-watt-hour battery. So hopefully we'll get good battery life. And I'm not upset that it's not not higher than a full HD plus, because I want to see good battery life. And on a 13.4-inch display, you don't need to have anything higher, in my opinion. Killer Wi-Fi 6E with Bluetooth 5.3, 1 terabyte NVMe PCIe Gen 4. We'll test that tonight live on the stream. And of course, I like this, 32 gigabytes LP DDR5 RAM. And that is running at 4,800 megahertz. And I believe that is soldered in. So you can change out the SSD, but the RAM, much like all the laptops we're seeing here in 2023, is going to be soldered into the motherboard. Okay, so those are the specs. Let's run let's see if we can get it there. Yeah, so the GPU, the compute benchmark, which of course is the integrated Iris Xe graphics here. So there you go. All right, let's see what we'll get. I'm not expecting great things out of Iris Xe, but again, we know the deal on that. Good to see Jay Valencia. Yeah. Oh, no problems, my friend. Again, these YouTube notifications are not working. Yeah, so good to see everybody while this is running. Pushin P, okay. Yeah, this is the P series Core i7 1360p. How different would a 1380p be in terms of the score? I don't know if it would be that much of a difference in this thin and light chassis, ultra portable chassis, thermal considerations all being considered here. I don't know. I don't think it would generate more heat, is my guess. So 1380p, I think, has a couple extra cores, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know if it's worth the extra heat that it would generate. So again, efficiency, battery life, and of course, thermals are going to have to be taken into consideration here. Okay, so this is the Iris Xe graphics, and I guess it's pretty typical what we normally see. All right, I did my screenshot there. All right, that's it. The Geekbench 6, pretty decent score. I'm not going to say it's great, although I do need to do the updates and so forth, so we probably will get even higher. Again, certainly for everyday use, you're going to be extremely fine with this. This is going to be fine. All right, let's go into the Cinebench R15. I didn't load it in, so let me get that here. So Cinebench R15, let's put it into the downloads folder. And let me put that together here. So downloads, Cinebench R15, there she is. And let's extract that, okay? So while that's doing that, let's see what other people are saying. Put a Q before your question. Of course, it makes it easier for me to find it. Better battery life on 1360p for sure. I agree wholeheartedly. Daily RPG. All right. So I like what I'm seeing here. I like what I'm seeing here. The build is fantastic so far, looking really good. You can see it right here. You can put it into different modes. We'll show that later. But what I like is it has an ergo lift hinge, and it also can convert into a 360, as you know, with the different modes, the tent mode, the stand mode, the presentation mode, or whatever you want to call it. And of course, laptop mode and tablet mode. Let's not forget that, especially with the pen. Now that the pen has had a little chance to charge up a little bit, let's see if it's working. It is. And it's a nice pen. It has a good feel in the hand. I have no complaints on it so far. So let's open this up. This is the Cinebench R15, okay? And let's get that And look, it's a bright display. I might have to even lower it a little bit as far as the brightness. Excuse me. All right, let's accept the software license and agreement. OpenGL will test the integrated Iris Xe graphics. Again, I'm not expecting a bonkers performance. A little bit long in the tooth, as I mentioned before, so nothing to be surprised here. And I guess anywhere from 90 to 110. That's what we've been seeing frames per second on this test in if it experiences anything. So we'll see. So while that's running, let's see what other questions and comments people have. So Ahmed, the RAM is going to be soldered into the motherboard. The SSD will be upgradable. Pretty typical, pretty typical. RAM will be running in dual channel mode. It's also got 32 gigabytes of RAM. Love that. For $12.99 over at Costco, non-affiliated. I don't get any commission or anything from Costco, but I did leave a link in the description below so you can get that deal if those interested in a really excellent, so far, very, very impressive 2-in-1 convertible. Build, color, finish, really looking good here. Really looking good. And we got our score, and again, like I thought, 87.87, around where we expect it to be, more or less, with an integrated solution such as the Iris Xe graphics. All right, we're going to test the CPU here, the 1360p. Cinebench R23 we'll get to later in the stream. And of course, Raphael, I will check the webcam. So just so you know, full HD on the webcam, that's going to be great. Also, it has IR face recognition with Windows Hello. So for those that need it, it does have a fingerprint scanner right here below the keyboard on the right side, right there. In fact, you can see it a little bit better right there. Okay, so there you go. No burn-in, my friend. This is no burn-in worry because it is IPS. This is not an OLED display. So we got our result here, and it's again, this is pretty typical of what we're going to see out of this ultra portable. So that is what we get. So let me save this, say yes. And then let's go to the Cinebench R20 as we normally do, as we make our way through the different benchmarks that we usually run here. And of course, I will have an edited down unboxing video. So for those that don't want an hour plus experience, you can of course get a 15-minute or so video with chapters, so you can just bounce around as you please, which of course is pretty convenient. And then I will have a full review once I do really put it through the ringer. And by the way, I want to thank MSI for sending this over, as well as the MSI Prestige, which I'm going to review both the 14 and 16 inch. That 16 inch will have a 16 inch mini LED display. Now this is 120 hertz, but when we're done with this test, I want to see, in fact, actually we can do it right now before we run that test. Let's take a look at the display settings. And this is 90 hertz, but I don't know, out of the box, it may even be 60. We'll see. So right now, I'm sorry, 120 hertz, I should say. 120 hertz is what it is right now. So that's good to see. All right, let's run the Cinebench R20. Very excited. I really, I like this build here. This is really good. MSI, you've done a great job so far with this build quality here. This is looking really good. Let me accept the software license. Let's run the Cinebench R20. And what I like is you get the pen, $12.99, 120 hertz display as far as the refresh rate. Full HD plus 1920 by 1200, if I didn't mention that. Touch screen, of course, pen support as we mentioned. Really, this is going to compete with the likes of a Spectre X360. That is going to be very similar. Even compete with the Dell XPS 13 Plus, although that's not a convertible. This will compete. Same 13.4 inch display as far as the aspect ratio 16:10, although that one is not. There's no pen support. There's pen support on this. There's a lot to like here, including that $12.99 price, considering 32 gigabytes of RAM. What did we see with the Asus that I bought from Best Buy last week? That had only 8 gigabytes of RAM, and you cannot upgrade it, right? So RAM is going to be a very important consideration. You can get a $1.99 slice of pizza at Costco. Yes. Yes. Don't forget, you could also get their really good hot dogs, which I think are like the Hebrew National hot dogs until they had to pull out. So Costco has the Kirkland hot dogs, which I guess they reverse engineered the Hebrew National hot dogs, and those are really good. So yeah, if you like hot dogs, if you like pizza and you don't want to break the bank and you're picking one of these up over at Costco, why not go? And again, I'm not affiliated with Costco. Why not get a hot dog, some pizza, and you can get yourself a really nice 2-in-1 convertible, right? For an additional $12.99. So decent score. Again, here we have it. Let me take a screenshot for the video. Perfect. Yeah, this is pretty typical performance so far. Nothing bad, nothing groundbreaking, but pretty much what we would expect so far out of this type of convertible. All right, let's test the SSD. We'll test the. We'll do the camera after that, and then after the camera, we'll see. We'll probably just do the Cinebench R23 and go from there, okay? I'll test everything, of course, in the full review, so you don't have to worry. All the numbers are coming. I don't see any McAfee, no pop-ups of that so far. Bloatware has not been an issue, which is much appreciated. Did not have to deal with that effing crapware. So let me close the windows here. Okay, so we're going to test the SSD. We're looking at a terabyte PCIe Gen 4 NVMe upgradable. So if you need to get more storage later, you can. That's always appreciated. So we'll see. And so far, read is looking good. Read is looking good, 6602. So while that's running, let's see what else. Yeah, Kenny, you can get a laptop, would make an expensive plate for that pizza, right? Can you keep that Costco slice of pizza hot? Well, you know, it's running an Intel processor, so you might have a nice way to warm it up or keep it warm while you're shopping around in Costco, right? We're getting silly here on. This is what happens at 6:21 p.m. Pacific time. All right, so while that's doing that, let's go here and we'll test the camera and all that. Now, it is an IR camera, as I mentioned, so that's good. So you'll be able to log in with face recognition. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, you do have this fingerprint scanner, excuse me, right here. So that is looking good. All right. So pretty good so far. This is the pen. And again, the pen is working. Yep, it's working. Good. Again, one thing I don't see anywhere to like, oh, wait, it does stick magnetically. All right, I stand corrected here. So you want to take a look at this. So the pen, and I stand corrected, people, the pen sticks magnetically to the side. Nice, nice, nice. I'm very happy now. So for those that want to hear what that sounds like. Okay, so the pen does have a place to store. So that is good, and it's a pretty nice secure connection. So I'm glad I checked it again. McAfee might have the night off, and that certainly is going to help us in terms of the benchmarking, that's for sure, right? And he cursed our live stream on Saturday because the bandwidth did not hold up. Yeah, Raphael, it's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So super stickers, super chats, memberships all help support the channel if you want to help out. Now, this is probably a good time to run the sponsored spot so I can go get a drink. So today, this portion of the live stream is going to be brought to you by Best Buy. I'm going to bring you some of these top deals for April 2023. And while this is running, we'll bring you the benchmark numbers of the SSD. But let's hear a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Best Buy, and I've teamed up with Best Buy once again to bring you the top deals here for April 2023. There's a lot of great savings, so without further ado, let's get right to it. First up is one of my favorite convertible laptops from HP. It's the HP Spectre X360, a 2-in-1 convertible with a 13.5-inch, really gorgeous display. Intel Evo platform here, Core i7, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigs of SSD storage in a gorgeous Nightfall black. It is on sale for $999.99. That is a ridiculous $500 off the initial asking price of $1499.99. Next up is also from HP. It's from the venerable Envy line, and that, of course, is the HP Envy X360, a 2-in-1 convertible with a 15.6-inch touchscreen display. It's on sale for $649.99. That's an amazing $300 off the initial $949.99 asking price. And for those that need more RAM and storage for this model, it's on sale for $899.99. That gets you 16 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of SSD storage. And if you're looking for a Dell convertible, well, we got you covered here. Best Buy has one on sale. It's the venerable Dell Inspiron 7620 2-in-1 convertible with a 16-inch touchscreen display. It's Full HD Plus. It is on sale for $949.99. That's $300 off the $1,249.99 asking price. And here's one from Lenovo, a popular one on my channel. This is the Yoga 7i 16-inch 2-in-1 convertible. It has a 2.5K touchscreen display. It's built on the Intel Evo platform. It's got the H series processor, the Core i7, 32 gigs of RAM. That's amazing. Intel Arc graphics, and it also has a terabyte of storage in a gorgeous Arctic gray finish. So that one's on sale for $1399.99. That is $300 off the initial asking price. And here's a great deal from Asus that I noticed. It's the Asus VivoBook 16-inch laptop running the AMD Ryzen 7 5800HS with 12 gigabytes of memory, 512 gigabytes of SSD storage in a really beautiful quiet blue color. That's on sale for $599.99. That's $150 off the initial $750 asking price. And for those gamers out there, the Alienware M17R5 with the AMD Ryzen 9 with the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070 Ti on sale for $1899.99. That is a $400 savings from the initial asking price. Now, these are not the only deals that Best Buy has for April 2023. I will put a list in the description below. Links for everything, of course, will be in the description below. You don't want to miss it. And I want to thank Best Buy for sponsoring today's video. Okay, we're back. Thank you for the Best Buy for sponsoring that portion of today's video. Links for everything will be in the description below. So if you want to pick up some of these great deals, really, these are handpicked. I went through the list and I saw some of these deals. So I know some of you are waiting to buy a laptop. So again, check it out if you haven't done so. Links, again, in the description below. Now, is McAfee hanging out at the new Epstein Island? Yeah, they're probably all hanging out down there. Hold on. Can you hear me down there, Epstein and McAfee? Yeah, John? Yeah, okay. All right. So, all right. So, looking good so far. All right, let's get a look at the number here and good reads and writes as we are expecting here with Gen 4. So, not bad. Good. Looking good. So, we took our screenshot for the video and let's take a look at the camera. So it might be off. Hold on. I may have to... Yeah, it was... Okay, so let me show you why that didn't come on. So the reason that didn't come on is because the kill switch was in the off position. And so the camera is now on. Yeah, so now it's on. So now if I go here, let's go here. Let's open the camera app. And this is a full HD camera right here. Actually looks pretty nice and clean. Really looks good. So what we're looking at here is a 1440p video. Let's look at the video settings. So I'm sorry, not 1440, 1080p, 30 frames per second. I don't know why I said, I was thinking of the HP. That's why I was thinking of the 1440p. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. It says 50 hertz. Let's put it on 60 hertz. Okay. So what do you think about it? I don't know if it has all the bells and whistles. Let's take a look at the MSI app. Let me see if they give you any kind of settings there. I'm not really sure. Again, first time looking at with you. Crystal clear, right? Daily RPG? It's a crystal clear. Let's take a look, see if we have any of these studio effects. You know, the blurred background, the focus on your eyes and all that stuff. So let's go to settings here. I don't know if it, you know, it may have the feature set here. So those are some of the updates there. Features, gaming mode, noise cancellation, hardware monitoring. Here you can see that. So I'll have to go through all these features. I believe there might even be some of these studio effects. Again, I'll have to investigate it. But just so you know, this is what it looks like. Looks pretty decent. You can see it from here. Again, very glossy, but you can see it here. So yeah, it looks pretty good, right? William, we got the stamp of approval from William. So if William says it's good, then you know it's good. Okay, so there you go. All right, so camera check. Everything's looking good. So no deal breakers so far, ladies and gentlemen. Looking pretty good, as we have 35 of you watching. All right, so the camera working. I'm impressed. Now, before we do anything further, let's look at some of the modes you can put this in. Let me disconnect this cable here, this connection. So you could put it into the tent mode, which is great for recipes in the kitchen, of course, and there you can see it. And then, of course, you can put it into the presentation mode, great for also consuming media or just presenting some information to a group. So that looks pretty good. And then, of course, you can put it into the tablet mode, great for use with the pen. And here you can see, this is a 2-in-1 convertible. This feels a little warm over here, by the way. So 2-in-1 convertible. Let's see if it should rotate. It's not rotating. Maybe I have that off. Let's see. So rotation lock is not on. I don't know how to turn that on. Anyway, we'll figure all that out. But if you want to use it as a tablet, you can. I don't know why the rotation lock is grayed out. You can see it here. So again, a little blown out from the camera, but the rotation lock is turned off. So I have to see what I have to do to turn that on, but not a big deal. We'll figure that out. And the other thing I want to show you is the backlight on the keyboard. So I like that it has dark keys and you should be able to see this backlight. So this is the backlight. So if I hit function, pretty good. That's pretty bright, right? You can actually see it here. That's pretty bright. So looking pretty good. So I'm liking this, and you can get a good look at that. So really, really very, very impressive stuff here. And let's see if we can see it on here. So yeah, you don't really see it too much unless I put it like that. But there you can see it. Now it's lit up. So there it goes. I mean, that's a nice looking keyboard. I can tell you that right now. And it's been pretty comfortable so far. You might have to download in the MSI Center, the feature. MSI allows one download features as needed. Okay, that's good to know. I will have to investigate that offline, of course, while I'm not live. But yeah, so far, what do we learn so far? One, excellent build quality, CNC aluminum, really nice display, full HD plus, 1920 by 1200, 120 hertz. Hinges are interesting. So let's take a look at the hinges. I know Eric is talking about that now. So you move it back here, it lifts up a little bit, but then it has to go to the last position. So you can leave it like that, or it goes down, right? And then, of course, it has to be able to do this, right? Since it is a convertible, and you definitely have to be able to do that. So it's sort of like having an ErgoLift hinge. See how it lifted that up? It's sort of like having an ErgoLift hinge, which gives it a little bit more airflow, but it also has the ability to do that. So it has to be able to move. It can't be as tight as if it was just 360 and that's it, as a normal convertible. This sort of lives in both worlds. So far, I mean, I don't see too much screen wobble, right? So if I'm typing, it's actually pretty sturdy, right? So it's looking actually pretty good. I like it. I like it a lot, people. Looking good so far. All right, so this is the pen, and as I stated earlier, and see, this is something I am noticing. So because it does that ErgoLift stuff, see how it goes like this? So if you go here, you can see it here. So if I go like this, and I'm going like this, you see, it can go like that. So maybe a little tighter at that last stage would have been a better, but not a weak hinge. I wouldn't call it weak, but I would call it a compromise in a sense, because they wanted to be able to give you a nice raised typing angle, a bit of a raised typing angle, which they do by allowing it to move up, but also being able to do this, right? So they had to do that, it looks like. So it looks like it's pretty good. Looks like it's pretty good overall. All right, let's take some of your comments and questions. Put a Q before them. Let's see. Kenny is saying laptop prices need to bottom like TV prices. Across the board, laptop prices take a zero off. price them in hundreds of dollars, nothing over $1,000. Look, this is not a budget laptop. I can tell you it's not made like a budget laptop. It's got premium features. You're going to pay $12.99 over at Costco. That's pretty reasonable to me, considering what you're getting with this. Now, would I like it under $1,000? Sure. Is it reality? No, not in the economy that we're in right now. I don't think that's a reality. But having a laptop at $12.99 that gives you these features, 120 hertz refresh rate, full HD plus. Again, I don't want to go beyond full HD plus on a 13.4-inch convertible. It's overkill, it's nonsense, and it will kill the battery life. This also has a pretty decently sized battery. What was the battery? Let's take a look at the specs here real quick. So it's got a 4-cell 70 watt-hour battery. So that tells me that I'm going to expect decent battery life out of this. We should get about, hopefully, over 10 hours on my test that I run, the PC Mark 10 Modern Office battery test. That would be good. Now, let's look at the bottom of this real quick. I'm not going to open it up on the live stream, and I think, I don't know, did I open it up in the video last year? It should be pretty much the same, I would imagine. Here, it looks like you have to break a seal here. I'm not going to do this now. I might do it in the video that I do record. You see that seal right there? I don't think I'm going to do it, but I can tell you right away. What does that say? Let's see, because I'm blind. Factory seal, right? So upgradable SSD. I don't know about the Wi-Fi card. And as far as the RAM, it is soldered in, but it does have 32 gigabytes of RAM. It does have 32 gigabytes. I'll use this for the video. Let me move that out of the way. Yeah, so 32 gigabytes of RAM. Question from, question from Shays. How would the laptop compare to an M2 MacBook Air as they are priced similarly? Well, this has a lot more features than the Air. I can tell you that right away. Now, the Air has a couple of things that it's going for it. It's pretty efficient, gets great battery life. But the negatives, of course, is you don't have a touchscreen like I just did there. It doesn't have face recognition if that's something you want. You don't want to game on a Mac. At least I don't think it's really optimized for gaming. And if you have to do heavy sustained workloads, it's not going to be great. I would go to the MacBook Pro for that because the Air has passive cooling and it will throttle down to keep the temperatures at bay. So you will notice that if you're doing any heavy sustained workload, you'll definitely have to do it. I did open it up in last year's video review, so maybe we can take a look at it real quick. So let me. So as far as the MacBook Air, it's just a matter of what you want. You have pen. You don't have any pen support either. So you just have to decide. Let me go to YouTube. Keyboard's feeling good. I got to tell you that right now. So let me type in here. Let's do MSI Summit eFlip Evo. And I'm not logged into my YouTube account, so let's see what comes up. There's our live stream right there. And am I even on this list? There I am. There it is, people. Okay, so let me, I'm not logged into my account, so I don't have the premium loaded in here. So we have an ad here. Let's skip the ad, skip the trial. And let's go to, where is it? Okay, here we go. So let me maximize that for you. And let me pause this. Okay, so I did open it up. All right, so dual fans, as you can see there, upgradable SSD, Wi-Fi card, Bluetooth, it's all soldered in. The RAM is soldered in. The SSD is upgradable. And there's the battery. 4-cell, 70 watt hours this year. I don't know what that was last year. Whatever it was, there it is. Video is linked to that. This video is in the description, or rather in the chat, thanks to our good moderator, Raphael. All right. So there you go. That's the internals of it. So that saved me from having to open it up. Again, we're not going to find any surprises. Pretty clean looking inside, that's for sure. And thank you, Raphael, for letting us know. All right, so Slim Shady, it's good to see you once again. There are just so many, there's just too many really solid laptops out there that offer more features for less money. Okay, what features that this doesn't have that are being offered by others? It's got everything. I think it's got pretty much everything. The only thing it doesn't have is a discrete GPU, but this is a 13.4-inch convertible laptop. Why would you want a discrete GPU in this, right? I mean, it's not going to add that much, and the thermal considerations are going to be have to be taken into consideration, right? So, and I like this strong magnet here. That's good. The E14 Flip looks interesting. I need something this week. You know, Tim, I got to tell you, I am super impressed with this. And if you are a member of Costco, not only can you get a $1.99 slice of pizza or a nice hot dog, but or a $4.99 rotisserie chicken is fantastic, but you can get this as well. $12.99 over at Costco. I did leave a link to that in the description below. And again, to repeat it, I am not affiliated with Costco. I do not receive any commission. I want to make sure you, as my audience, get the best value, best deals possible. I want to thank Best Buy for sponsoring that portion we ran earlier for April top deals over at Best Buy. A lot of the laptops I reviewed are on sale. Links for those in the description below. KLH2, no cellular on this, so don't think you're going to be able to do that. Nope. Unfortunately, would have been a nice option to go with 5G. So there is good. So getting back to the MacBook Air, getting back to the last comment that we had or a little bit earlier, what does this not have that other laptops have in this price point? I think it pretty much has everything. So according to William, the hinges look like the Spectre. Also, watching you move this unit around appears to be very little screen wobble. So what's interesting about the screen here, and you can see it here, I don't see a lot of screen wobble. So that's good, but it's not so tight where you can't move it easily. But when you get to this point, right, so you can keep it at this point, then it wants to go down by itself. That's because it wants to do this, right? It wants to be a convertible, which it is. So it's sort of like giving you that ergo lift hinge. See how it lifts up? It gives you that ergo lift hinge. This lifts up right here, right there, and it goes flat. See? Up, down, and you can see it here. I know I don't want to belabor the point. You can see it better there. See how that lifts up? Couple of things going on there. It gives you a little bit more airflow and a raised typing angle. Looks pretty good. All right, we got our first super sticker of the evening. It's $10 from the Slim Shadiest. All right, my friend. Nice way to help support the channel. 45 of you watching. Another way is to hit the like button. Let's help this get spread out over YouTube. Yeah, I think, Raphael, we're looking at minimum screen wobble here. This is fantastic. I'm really, really impressed here. I'm really impressed so far. Looking good. Now, I do want to run the Cinebench R23. At least let's get the R23. Let's do the multi-core score, okay? Now, the fans are not on right now, but while it's running, and we'll see if the fans will ramp up, which we expect, I want to test the fan noise a little bit in this initial benchmark, and I also want to do the, I want to test the thermals. I have my camera here, so let me get that ready. I want to see how the thermals are for the surface temperatures as we run something like the Cinebench R23. So that should be pretty interesting. And can I play something on the speakers? I can, Daly. I can. Let's get through this first, and then we'll play some speaker test and see. We'll go from there. All right. That sounds like a little bit of a plan. Where are we as time-wise? So we're just about hit an hour, 58 minutes or so. So we're on time right here. Everything looking pretty good. All right. Really, the Holy Trinity should be the 14-inch pen, 10-point multi-touch screen, 1200p with at least 400 nits of brightness, AMD with 780M iGPU. Well, that sounds good on paper. Let me know where I can find one. All right. So, by the way, for those who are wondering, I did release my first look review video of the Lenovo Yoga Pro 7, or the Slim Pro 7 as we know it here in North America, okay? So if you didn't see it, check it out. It's over on my channel. It's doing okay. Now, supposedly, that's replacing the Slim 7 Pro X, or whatever the hell they call it, from last year. This is supposed to replace that. I don't know if it's one-to-one. Processor's a little bit different. Obviously, they went with an AMD based on the Zen 3 Plus, which is the Ryzen 7 7735HS. Performance is looking pretty good. Battery life, looking really good. No surprise with an AMD processor. Very efficient and very good battery life. All right, let's see how the multi-core does. Let's see if the fan kicks on. And of course, let me get my Fold 4 as I will connect my thermal imaging camera to that. So we're all on the same page. Okay, so let me connect this. And you can see what I'm doing here. So that's loading in. And I do hear the fans coming on. So why don't we do the let's do the noise test first. Let me see what kind of decibel level we're getting here. So let me get that set up. Okay, we're looking at 4950 decibels. So not the quietest I've heard on a 2-in-1 convertible. So you definitely will notice that when it is under load. All right, so let's take a look at some of the thermal imaging here. And I'll put all this in the upcoming video. So there's a little hot spot right above the keyboard where the exhaust is coming out above the keyboard below the display. Okay. All right. And then let me look at let's look at the bottom. So right away, I'm seeing a little bit of a hot spot. About 58, 57 degrees Celsius. Okay, so there's a couple of hot spots I noticed. Nothing too crazy. Okay. Let's see where it's plugged in. Let's see how hot that gets. So the biggest hot spot to me is going to be around here. So about 53, 54 degrees Celsius. So, it's not the coolest I've seen, but that's typical Intel, right? So there you go. All right, so we did our measurements. So we'll do a little bit of a sound test once we're done with this. Okay, let me put this away. So happening in real time, my friends, happening in real time. I'd love to be able to bring this all to you in real time. You know how I feel about that. So far, so good. All right. So question from Eric Johnson. Does it come with any other resolution aside from 1920 by 1200? So I have not seen any other resolution. It's Full HD Plus. I believe that is the only resolution. And I think it's the proper one. I don't think going above that would be beneficial as far as battery life, it would really make no sense because on a 13.4-inch display, at least in my opinion, you're not going to see the benefit of going to 4K because the eye can only detect so much, the human eye. So I would say on a bigger display with more screen real estate, yeah, having the higher resolution, more pixel density would be better. But on a 13.4-inch, having said that and having used the Dell XPS 13 Plus, same size device in both Full HD Plus and 3.5K, I would say you don't need to go that high. And again, battery life is going to be important on a thin and light or ultra portable convertible as we have here. So that's just my take on it. So KLHH 1200 on a 13 is perfect. And I agree. I think that's the perfect resolution. 1920 by 1200. Again, 16:10 aspect ratio, I think is the perfect blend as far as the aspect ratio, seeing more on the display, do less scrolling when it comes to web browsing. That to me is good. So I have no issue with that. I agree with that. 2880. So 2880 by 1800 is 2.8K. Fine. We just looked at one, the 14-inch on the Asus, right? Wasn't that 2880 by 1800? We saw it on the 14-inch Galaxy Book 3 Pro. You're going to lose some battery life. I'm just going to tell you this. I prefer on a 13.4-inch, not 14-inch, 13.4. I prefer Full HD Plus. That's just me. I think they did the right choice here when it comes to this resolution. I think anything above that is overkill and will just drain the battery. So KLH II or whatever KLH the second. I have the OLED Gen 7 Yoga X1, totally not worth it. So, that's something you have to decide, right? That's a 14-inch, the X1 Yoga, and that's OLED, and that definitely will eat into the battery. There's no way to get around that. It's just something you have to deal with. So I kind of like the decisions that they made with some of the feature choices that they went with. So I definitely think it was the right way to go. Yeah, and you're going to lose battery life, right? Ultimately, this is going to be a mobile device, right? What do you want from a mobile device? Well, you want to be able to do your work, and you want it to be able to last on a transatlantic flight. You want it to be able to last, right? Good to see you, David. I don't understand why YouTube allows lower resolution devices to stream 4K video. That's another kind of puzzling thing. And I think, aren't they doing something behind the scenes with YouTube? Aren't they going to change something, at least for the iOS? I thought I read somewhere. Maybe I was half sleeping. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Why do they have a 4K if the resolution of your device, iPhone or whatever, I'm just giving you that as an example, doesn't have 4K resolution? I think Sony had a few 4K displays, but I think it was only for HDR in their mobile phones, right? Their high-end premium phones. So I don't know. That's a good question, David. That's a very good point you brought up. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know everything, right? Sometimes I think I do, but I certainly don't. All right, so this is running. We have about another couple of minutes on this, and then we'll do a little bit of a sound test. Maybe we can bring the MacBook Pro 14, which I think, I've been using as one of my main laptops. And that, of course, has the M1 Pro, very efficient processor, amazing sound. The Apple, as you know, I haven't found anything on the Windows side to come close. Although I will say this, the Yoga 9i 14 comes as close as you're going to be to a MacBook Pro 14. Not quite there, but on the Windows side is certainly the best I've heard to date. So that is just something to check out, that's for sure. All right, so 47 of you, and we're going to get the result very soon. Let me take a drink here. So Surface Studio has less resolution and looks just as good. So the Surface Studio is a pretty interesting product. I reviewed it. It's a pretty interesting one. I'm kind of curious to see if they're going to upgrade it to the next generation here, Gen 2, so to speak, here in 2023. I don't know. From what I hear, they pushed everything out, maybe fall, maybe next year in 2024. I don't know if we're going to see any new Surface devices. So interesting. Yeah, I reviewed that one. It didn't get so many views on my channel, and I don't know how many of those devices they actually sold. I kind of like the Surface Book to be honest. Its predecessor, a little bit more, that form factor, but that's just me. But again, they went with that pull forward, which I do like. So we'll see. But the Surface Studio had a really nice display, right? It had that dynamic refresh rate. They have the Pixel Sense displays or whatever they call them. They're good displays. All right. So we got 39 of you. And again, I'm going to leave this up as a replay. And for those that don't want to have to deal with a whole hour plus as we normally have in these live streams, I'm going to edit it down and release an unboxing first look review. I'll add a few more benchmarks as I do. But they're pretty complete. I mean, it's almost like you can say they're pretty much a full review. The only thing missing, of course, is long-term battery testing, the various battery tests. The only thing the thermals, although you did see a lot of it here. But again, I will be doing more of that. And of course, the 3D Mark test that I normally do, I'll probably throw those in. So I sort of shoot myself in the foot in a little bit. I give you a little too much on these unboxings, but I can't help myself. So what can I tell you? There you go. And by the way, I want to thank everybody. And I did thank you last on Saturday, but of course we had those technical difficulties with the bandwidth. But we did hit 140,000 subscribers. So I want to thank you again from my bottom of my heart for reaching that milestone. Of course, without you, I would not be able to do it. That's for certain. So again, thank you so much for the support throughout the years. You know what that means to me. All right. But very reflective on the studio. So yeah, reflective displays. We've been seeing a lot of them in 2023. The Samsung Galaxy Book 3 Ultra, the Pro, the various ones we saw. Although the clamshell was a little less glossy. But we're seeing a lot of glossy displays. That's for sure. The pixel density is more important than the resolution. Right, so that is another good point. And again, it just depends on the size of the display and again, the type of technology they're using. And again, I will have the MSI Prestige 16-inch, which uses mini LED. So we're going to get a good look at that. So I'm looking forward to testing that one out. That should be coming this week. So I should have it by next week for sure. Something for you. Maybe we'll do another live stream because I'm actually really, really impressed with this Evo, this Summit, the E13 from MSI here. It's looking good. This flip convertible, although I think they can do it better with the naming, right? So this is the MSI Summit E13 Flip Evo. Okay, you try saying that 100 times in a row and see if you'll be able to get it. I can't. But good stuff here so far. And, look, maybe we're seeing some throttling here. Let's take a look. So our multi-core score, 7,905. So that's on the low end of the 1360p. So let me take my screenshot. So that's telling me with this sustained workload test that there is some throttling going on here. Power throttling, which is not unexpected in a thin and light ultra portable as we have here. I won't do the CPU single core. We'll save that for the video because I don't want to, it's going to take at least another 10 minutes. So we don't need to do that. But we will do a sound test here. So let me put it on me for a second. Let me load in Epidemic Sound. And let me log into my account. And then I'll bring in the MacBook Pro 14. And we'll, it's almost unfair because that is such a good sounding laptop. It's the best. So let me put my email in here. All right, I'm logged in, and let me bring in my MacBook Pro. Give me a second. Let me get this logged in. Give me a second. So I have already some saved music that I use. So let's like sounds here. Oops, let me go back. Okay, it's a little dirty, my keyboard, so don't mind that. In fact, we'll just put it on this one. It'll probably look a little bit better. All right, so let me lower the brightness a little bit, so it won't look as blown out. All right, so on the left is the MSI, on the right is the MacBook Pro. Let's go to the song called Panic Attack from Tiger Blood Jewel. All right, let me turn on that microphone and turn off mine. It's not even close. It's a huge difference. That is a huge difference. So yeah, the MacBook blew this away as far as sound. And again, I'm not surprised. Again, thin and light here. Windows they just can't compete with the likes of this. That is just, it sounds like an X90 or something. I don't know. It doesn't sound terrible if you didn't hear this, right? But it lacked a little oomph. Now, let me see though. Before we make judgment here, I probably should have done this. Let me go to the Dolby Atmos, if it's even on this. So I don't even know if Dolby is on this. And I don't think it does. I don't think it has Dolby Atmos here. What is this? Maybe let me look at the settings here. Let's look at the specs. Let me see. So as far as audio is concerned, it'll change in a moment. Let it go through this one cycle. And then when it gets to the second part, we will know what audio it has. So I really think, yeah, so audio, it's just got 2 speakers, 4 watts total. So that is definitely not having any Dolby Atmos to help with the spatial audio. So that's something to be aware of, okay? So much better sounding speakers on the MacBook. Not a surprise, though. It's not that, look, it needs a little bit more oomph, Russell. That's my takeaway. It needs a little bit more oomph on this. Not that it's bad. Not that it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not as good as this. It's not even close. It's not even close. But it's still a great laptop as far as I'm concerned. Let me get this in the right one here. it's still a great, so far, first look at this. I'm very impressed. So the 16-inch Z16 Gen 2 sounds good. Yeah, that has some pretty decent speakers. I still have not found a Windows laptop that can compete on the MacBook side of things, where as far as sound is concerned. The science that they employed in this was much better, and it just shows, right? For sounds, this is going to be the much better laptop. It's just no way to slice it. That's the way it is. All right, so the partition is in a thinner laptop, is all I can say. Yeah, I mean, it needs a little bit more oomph, like, more oomph. You have to compromise somewhere. Listen, to get it this thin and light, right. And of course, you could always use a good pair of headphones or Bluetooth headphones, right? And I think a lot of you are going to do that anyway. But even if you wanted to use this without hearing this one, I can tell you it's fine. Is it great? No, it's not going to be as good as the Yoga 9i Gen 8 that we looked at with that rotating soundbar and spatial audio because of the Dolby Atmos. It was really good. Or even the Samsung, they did a good job. Still not as good as this one. So pretty interesting stuff. And by the way, let me know how the sound test, how did it sound? Because I'm using my Shure, this is a Shure SM7B. I'm using my Sennheiser MKH416 microphone. I don't know if you can see it here. Now it's out of frame. You really can't see it, but it's a very expensive mic. So hopefully you're able to hear it okay. We'll maybe use that sample in the video. We'll see. MacBook Air sounds great. I agree. All right, so we're now at, let's see where we are, 45 of you watching. We're at 1 hour and 20 minutes. I think we're coming close to the end here. Anything else, people? I want to wrap things up. I have a lot more testing to do. I want to thank MSI for sending not only this over, but as well as the Prestige, the 14 I have here. I have the 16 coming with that mini LED display. That's coming. That has a discrete GPU as well. And then I have my review of the Dell XPS 15 coming and a lot of other stuff. So we're coming on that. So according to William, looking at the Costco site, it has Windows Home versus Windows Pro at Best Buy. Also, Costco gives you the 2nd-year warranty versus Best Buy with a 3-year limited warranty. There are minor differences. And thank you, by the way. I'll look more into that, William, with my contact at MSI to clarify that. I know there's a 3-year, she mentioned to me, my contact, there is a 3-year warranty, limited warranty they were touting. So I just want to make sure we all are on the same page as far as what you get at Best Buy versus what you get at Costco. So yeah, thank you, William, for pointing that out. And I think the 2 MacBook Air would outperform the MSI under even extended load times. Maybe, I don't know. We'd have to do a competition. I don't have a MacBook Air. I do have the MacBook Pro. I don't have a MacBook Air, either M1 or M2. So it would be interesting. Either way, that's a very good laptop. But again, that doesn't have a fan in it, of course, so it will throttle down. But I see a little throttling so far in the Cinebench R23. Of course, we just took it out of the box. So take everything with a grain of salt. I'll have the final numbers in a full review. That will be coming very soon. And I'll also test this, the pen, right? So I didn't really get a chance to do any like note taking or anything with this, but this is going to be good for that. You know, if you want to do whiteboarding and so forth. Again, I'm not logged into my account, but you can do some doodling here and there, blah, blah, blah. Sketch out artwork, diagrams, and everything. So again, the pen sticks magnetically to the side. You can see it here. Again, boom. And it's a pretty good connection as well. So you can sort of see it there, but you can see it here. So pretty nice design here. Good port selection. I'm very impressed so far. Really good job by MSI on this. So that's pretty good. All right, let's close this up and let's put it back on me. Let's cue the music and we'll send it out for a very nice live stream. I want to thank everybody for showing up. The moderator is doing such a great job. Thank you, everybody. Everybody who gave us super sticker, super chat. I think we had the super sticker here today by the Slim Shadiest, so I want to appreciate that. And I do have a lot more to come, so stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and I'll see everybody in the next video. So stay tuned. A lot more to come, people. See you next time, and bye-bye.